Hey, everybody. Bill Caskey back live, 8 a.m. We do this every day during the month of March. We'll see you after that. Got a lot of really good comments. One note, if you are going to comment on this in whatever platform you're watching on, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, I probably won't be able to see these all and definitely not answer them, but I will answer them later today. So let's just leave it at that. I've gotten some really good feedback from y'all on some of the work that we're doing here. We usually keep these to 10, 12, 15 minutes. And I want to share with you something today that I find really interesting. First, though, I had a great night last night. I had a chance to go over with a good friend of mine, Bill Donaldson, to our alma mater, DePaul University, which is a little private school, Division III, west of Indianapolis. And we had a chance to hear one of their most famous alums, Brad Stevens. Brad Stevens coached the Butler Bulldogs, Butler University basketball, took them to 2 Final Fours, just very successful at Butler, went on to coach the Boston Celtics, and now he's president of the Boston Celtics, president of basketball operations. And he's 40 years old, a young guy who just really, he's charted an amazing course in life, and he shared a little bit of his philosophy. And if you haven't heard Brad speak before, I urge you to go to YouTube. I'm sure there's something up there that where he's given an address, but he had his coach on from DePaul, and it was just a really nice evening, and I just thought you'd like to know that for whatever that's worth. We've got a new program starting today. It's always exciting to have new people coming into our high achiever mentoring program. Let's see, who are they? Scott, Lori, Tim, and Derek. So got a brand new orientation group. We usually do a 4-week orientation before they go into the full program. And so that starts today at 9. I'm always anxious to start with new people. Here's the topic today. You know, when a company calls me in, or when someone calls me up and joins one of my programs, obviously I know what they want, and they tell me what they want. They want better. They want more. They want more money, more clients, and they don't want to grind it out getting there. And a lot of my work up front is in unlearning, is in helping them stop doing the things that they have been taught to do in professional selling. Some of the stuff is old. It never did work. We thought it worked, but it doesn't. There are new, more modern methods based on what we know about psychology and brain and organizations today. There's a lot of new things, and yet people get locked into their old ways. You're locked into them. I'm locked into them. And we have to be sort of more intentional about looking at all the things we do and saying, is that really the best way to do that? And so when I get called into a company, I'm always looking at that, is what is the old way that people are etched into and the rut that they're in? And in as much as we try to change our words and change our behavior and change our strategy and show up differently in front of potential clients and customers to try to make the sale, we still have this undertone. I don't know if you call it an undertow. It's an undertow because it kind of takes you back out into the scary ocean, but it's an undertone that accompanies us everywhere. And the undertone is dangerous because you don't know you have it and the customer hears it. And the undertone is, I'm trying to sell you something. And I'm going to pull out all my fancy footwork and all my clever tactics in order to make the sale. And I really want the sale. I want the sale worse than you want the solution. I can guarantee you that, Mr. Prospect. Now, you're not saying these things, but this is the undertone. And it happens even as subtly as when you thank somebody for their time. When you thank somebody for your time, hey, thanks so much for seeing me today. What does that do? What kind of positioning do you think that is when you are thanking someone for your time? I'm not saying you don't appreciate it. I'm not saying you're not glad you're there. I think you can say those things. Hey, I'm really glad we're able to get together today. That's different. That's different than thanking somebody. I was on a call the other day with a client, and it was a fairly new client, and he was bragging about how, rightfully, he was bragging about how much pain he found, how difficult the customer's life was in absence of him. And I said, well, what were the economics? What did you find? He's really good at that. And he said, well, I found that they have about, I think it was $2 million worth of problems that I can fix for them. And I said, well, what's it going to cost to fix? And he goes, roughly about 250K. So I said, let me see if I get this. You're going to solve this $2 million problem for 250K. I said, all in? Yeah, that's all. And I looked at his follow-up email, and here's the way it sounded. Thank you so much for agreeing to see me. Well, now, if you find that I have $2 million worth of problems and you're going to charge me $250 to fix those problems, and I believe you, why are you thanking me? Why shouldn't I be sending you a box of roses? Why shouldn't I be sending you? I'm the prospect. I'm the one that's going to get the value here. But when you make that move of thanking somebody, and again, I know some of you will say, well, Bill, come on, it's thanking. Yeah. Why don't you just say, look, I'm really glad we were able to get to the bottom of some of your issues. I appreciate you inviting me in. I can appreciate somebody without thanking them. Thanking somebody just puts you down here and puts them up here. I appreciate you coming to visit me today. Now, there are times where thank yous are appropriate, but when somebody has a lot of problems and you can fix it, I think they ought to be sending you thank you cards. And if they're not, then my question is, why not? The undertone there is one of needy. I need the business. I really need you. I need your sale. I need a sale to make my numbers. I really enjoyed talking to you. I really enjoyed talking to you. That's an undertone. It's an undertone of neediness, of desperation, of attachment. And again, I know I'm saying stuff that's heretical. It's heresy. It's counterintuitive. But think about it. Just think about all of the things that you say to a prospect that are undertones of desperation. So here are 5 things, 4 or 5 things here that I think can help you. Number 1 is lose the need to close. When you have this closing mentality that's the undertone all the way through, you're kind of chomping at the bit. You're kind of looking for that place inside the conversation where the closing move can be inserted, or they give you some kind of sign. Just give me some kind of sign, girl. Give you some kind of sign that it's time. It's time to bring the hammer down. Lose that need because you're not going to guess right. Your instincts are going to fool you, especially since your undertone is, I really want to sell this person. Number 2, lose the need to pitch. Lose the need to position your offer in pitch mode. Let me tell you a little bit about what we do and why I personally think it's the best thing on the market. They don't care what you think. Of course, you're going to say that. You're pitching it. You're selling it. Stop pitching. Now, in its place, I think you can explain. You can say, look, do you want to hear a little bit more about how I might be able to help you? And the person will say, well, yeah, sure. Okay, well, let me tell you how it looks and what it looks like and how we work. And let me explain the value of it. That's fine. I'm not saying don't talk about your product. I'm saying don't do it in pitch mode. Number 3, start all meetings with your intent. My intent today is to X. It's to, I guess we can show that on the screen. But yeah, good morning, Bill. You taught me this years ago. It's a definite challenge. Nonverbal nature of email makes it even more difficult. Yeah, it's true. Mike, thanks, Mike Black. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's an undertone, even in emails. And like we just said, emails are where a lot of this happens because we have a chance to really get back into our desperation when we write an email. So lose the need to pitch. Number 3, start with your intent. Your intent is, I'm here to understand your plight. If you have one, I'm here to bring curiosity to see if I can ask you some questions that maybe you haven't thought about before that help us clarify what the issue is. I'm here to help you solve a problem. If you decide that you want to solve it with me or want to know more, that's your intent. And if that's not your intent, change your intent. I don't know. I mean, I can, beat around the bush about it. You got to change your intent. If your intent's to sell, you got to get rid of that. It's not doing you any good. It's not helping you. You think it's helping you. That's the sad part of this undertone is we think it's really positive. Oh yeah, he wants me to sell to him. No, he doesn't. He wants to get his damn problem solved. He wants to get to his nirvana. He wants to get to his ideal state. If it's you, great. If it's somebody else, great. He doesn't give a shit. He doesn't care. Prospect doesn't care about you. Now, once you won't become client, you develop a relationship. Of course, they care, but you shouldn't care. Yeah. So anyway, I'll leave it at that because I could go off on a way deeper tangent. That's not good. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. Number 4. Stop saying thank you for inviting me in. Now you can appreciate. I want to appreciate. What you appreciate appreciates. You've heard that before. Clever. It's a homiletic. It's called a homiletic. It's a clever saying that really doesn't mean much. No, I appreciate you inviting me in, and I'm glad we were able to get together today. I'm pleased. Are you pleased with our progress today? At the end of the call, yeah, I was pleased. Okay, you satisfied with? Yeah, okay, that's good. No inviting or no thank you. Number 5, stop talking needy in your private conversations. Stop talking needy means when you get done with a prospect and you go back to your office and your manager says, well, how'd the meeting with Smith Jones go? Oh, it went great. I'm really pumped about this. I'm really excited. I think we've got a 7 in 10 chance of getting this thing. I mean, we're looking really good, boss. You've heard those conversations. Maybe you've seen it on TV. Maybe you've witnessed it. Maybe you've said it. Maybe you're the manager and you've heard it. Don't do that. Don't do that in private conversation. It screws your head up because then it starts to reprogram your subconscious mind that this is a done deal. It's never a done deal. It's never a 7 on a scale of 10. It's either going to happen or it's not going to happen. I mean, how many times have you VPs of sales looked at the forecast and there's a lot of 6, 7s, and 8s on there, and they're on there every month. And finally you go to your team and say, look, what's going on here? This has been on our forecast as an 8. Well, no, they got to get past Valentine's Day. And then Easter. Once we get past Easter, well, we do have Memorial Day in there, the 4th of July. We'll make it happen, boss. So stop talking needy to your managers, to your coworkers. If your manager says to you, hey, how'd that meeting go with Smith Jones? Here's if it went well and there was a good conversation, you could say we had a really good, deep conversation about his issues. He's got 3. He's trying to do this and he can't do it. He's trying to get here and he can't get there. He's trying to do this with this. And I shared with him how we would go about solving that. He had some questions, but I feel like he was kind of locked into what we were doing. And we've got another meeting set here next week. That's what you say. You relay the pain that he had, and that works in your subconscious mind. So when you go back there then in a week, you're thinking about the problem. Is this the problem you still want to solve? And then number 6, a bonus. Always got to have a bonus, A bonus is to record yourself. Just record yourself on your phone calls. Listen to yourself. Nobody does that. Especially in the world of Zoom, you can record these things on Zoom. I don't even think you need to tell people you're recording them because you're not going to use them in commercial practice or anything. You're just going to check out and make sure that you heard. I always tell people, and I say, I'm recording this because I'm going to get it transcribed, which is true. And then if I need to go back and listen, I can. I don't usually do that now because I've been doing it a long time and I have this model philosophy down pretty well. But if you're just learning some of these things, you can go back and listen. And it will be painful. And you'll find yourself interrupting people. And you'll find yourself saying like a lot. And you'll find yourself saying so a lot. And you'll find yourself saying right a lot. And when you hear yourself doing that, you'll realize how silly you sound and you'll change it. All right. Okay. Good job today, everybody. I can't see too many comments here. I know that some of the platforms don't let you comment. But anyway, hope that's been helpful today. Just think about the undertone. Think about how that gets expressed in your conversation with people, and just do those things. Stop closing, stop pitching, record yourself, stop saying thank you and hat in hand. Oh my gosh, I'm so appreciative. Yeah, that has no place today. All right. If you're interested in any of our programs, you can go to billcaskey.com. Oh, I forgot. I'm going to put here on this. I totally spaced it. This is a document that we created a while ago, a few months ago. It's called 5 Reasons You Don't Have Enough Clients. You can go to www.5reasons.com, 5reasonsclients.com, the number 5, and download your copy. It's about 11 pages. Good stuff in it, I think. I wrote it, but I think it's good stuff. I've had people say it's very helpful. So I'll see you